Imagine this for a moment. It's December, and you're sitting at home, not worrying about bills or constantly feeling the pressure of what you might lack. Instead, you're feeling the peace of having multiplied your wealth in just a few months. I know, it sounds like a distant dream, but what if I told you it's not? Rich by Christmas. Yes, it's possible. You don't need luck or complicated formulas. What I'm about to show you is a simple trick, something anyone can apply no matter where you are today. You deserve more than just surviving paycheck to paycheck, stuck in a system that doesn't appreciate your efforts. You deserve to experience what it's like to live with freedom, with the power to choose what to do with your time and money. This trick can take you from where you are now to a position of financial independence, and it can happen this year. Imagine the pride of being the first wealthy person in your family, the one who broke the cycle of struggle and started a new story of success. In the comments below, write, "I'm ready to transform my financial life." This is your first step to tell the world and yourself that you're prepared for this change. Believe me, the transformation starts here. The real journey to building wealth begins in the mind. What separates the rich from the poor isn't just the money in the bank, but how each one sees the world around them. I didn't start to see a change in my financial life until I shifted my mindset. For a long time, I believed that to get rich, you needed luck or to be born into a wealthy family. It wasn't until I started surrounding myself with people who thought differently that my view changed completely. I realized that what I lacked wasn't the ability to create wealth, but the right mindset to recognize opportunities. At first, it was uncomfortable. I was constantly challenged by people who thought big, who talked about business, about growing wealth, and about how to build wealth from scratch. But the more time I spent with them, the more I started thinking like them. That's when I understood that to achieve financial freedom, I needed to change my social circle. If you continue to be surrounded by people who only complain about bills and hardships, that's where your focus will be. But when you connect with people who talk about investments and business, you begin to absorb those ideas and think more strategically. I remember one time at lunch with friends. Everyone was talking about high bills, gas prices, how everything seemed expensive. But on the other side of the table, someone was talking about investing in the S&P 500 and how small actions over time generate big results. It was at that moment that I realized true wealth creation begins when you change your conversations, and that's exactly what you should do. Seek out people who challenge you, who make you think about building wealth and becoming the first millionaire in your family. Once I changed my focus, opportunities started appearing. Before, I thought economic crises were moments of concern, but when I changed my mindset, I realized they were investment opportunities, just as Warren Buffett always says. I began to see challenges as springboards for growth. Getting rich quickly isn't about magic. It's about seeing the chances that most people ignore. Here's a practical exercise I recommend. Change the focus of your conversations. Next time you're with friends, bring up the topic of financial freedom. Talk about how to achieve financial freedom or about a new project that could generate an extra income stream. I did this for several weeks, and over time, I realized that these conversations opened doors to new ideas and partnerships I had never considered before. This shift in mindset not only transformed my financial life, but also showed me the power of creating a financial legacy for future generations. The impact was so great that I now see my own children growing up with this mindset. It's a process that takes time, but it's possible and extremely rewarding. The first step for anyone who wants to be the first wealthy person in their family is to believe it's possible, and it all starts in the mind. Now, you might be thinking, okay, I've changed my mindset, what's next? Well, the next step is to create wealth by eliminating all the distractions holding you back from growth. I'll show you how to do this practically, and the impact will be immediate. What comes next is the key to accelerating your journey to financial independence and ensuring nothing pulls you off track. Pay close attention because you won't want to miss this secret. One of the most valuable lessons I've learned over time is that financial success doesn't depend on working more, but on working with focus. In the age of social media and constant notifications, it's easy to lose your way. In the past, I found myself bogged down with tasks and distractions that led nowhere. I felt busy all the time, but the results didn't show up. That's when I realized that to multiply wealth quickly, I needed to eliminate everything that was diverting me from what really mattered. Grant Cardone, in his book The 10X Rule, talks a lot about this. He emphasizes that the key to getting rich quickly is to focus on a few activities that bring big results. It seems obvious, right? But the truth is, most people fail at this. They scatter their energy on too many small tasks and never achieve the impact they desire. I used to do that, answering emails, checking social media, making calls that went nowhere, until I realized these little time thieves were sabotaging my wealth growth. If you want to achieve financial freedom, you need to learn to say no. I started prioritizing only 3 things: building my business, learning about wealth-generating investments, and taking care of my mental and physical health. The rest I cut out. It was like a mental cleanup. This doesn't mean you'll stop having fun or seeing your friends, but it means you'll focus on activities that bring tangible results. When I did this, I saw a huge jump in my productivity and consequently in my financial wealth. Now think with me. How many hours do you spend on social media, scrolling through Instagram or TikTok? These platforms are designed to grab your attention and often consume valuable time that could be used to create a new income stream or to invest in yourself. A trick I adopted was setting fixed times to use social media. Outside those hours, my focus was 100% on activities that brought me closer to financial freedom. Another strategy that worked for me was the famous 80-20 rule. This principle suggests that 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts. I identified which activities were most important, the ones that generated the most financial return, and focused on them. If you want to build wealth from scratch, start by cutting out everything that doesn't contribute to your goals. Use tools like Google Calendar or Trello to organize your priorities and stay on track. This is a simple but powerful step to multiply your wealth. Of course, in the beginning it's not easy. It seems like everything demands your attention. But over time, you'll realize that the more you cut out distractions, the more energy and mental clarity you have to focus on what really matters. I can guarantee that when I started doing this, the results were visible within weeks. My business started growing, and my investments began yielding more returns, simply because my attention was where it needed to be. Here's a practical challenge. Over the next 24 hours, eliminate or drastically reduce at least one distraction that's consuming your time. It could be disabling notifications on your phone or limiting the time you spend in front of the TV. The impact this will have on your focus will be immediate. This small change could be the turning point in your journey to becoming the first millionaire in your family. Now, you might be thinking, okay, I've eliminated my distractions. Now what? How can I generate wealth faster? Well, in the next step, I'll show you exactly how to build a new income stream immediately, and it's simpler than you think. Are you ready for the next secret? Let's go, because this is where the magic really begins. If there's one universal truth when it comes to building wealth, it's that relying on a single source of income is risky. Creating a new income stream can accelerate your wealth-building process in ways you can't even imagine. When I realized this, everything changed for me. I still had my main job, but I felt like I wasn't advancing as I should. That's when I decided to use my free time to start a small side project. And believe me, this decision was one of the most important steps in building my financial legacy. Tim Ferriss, in his classic The 4-Hour Workweek, emphasizes the importance of creating passive income streams, or those that require little time. He talks a lot about online businesses, and that can be an excellent idea for you. In the US, with the rise of technology, it's easier than ever to start making money online. An example? You can start a freelance business, offering consulting or creating digital content. If you have specific knowledge, like marketing, design, or even cooking, you can start monetizing your skills almost immediately. Let's talk numbers. Suppose you start offering online consulting services and charge $50 an hour. If you manage to get 10 hours of consulting per week, that adds up to $500 weekly or $2,000 a month. This extra money can be invested, and we're already talking about multiplying your wealth. And the best part is, as you improve your skills, you can increase your hourly rate and eventually turn this extra income into your main source of income. I started small, freelancing in my spare time, and saw the impact it had on my wealth growth within months. If freelancing isn't your thing, you might consider starting an online store, or even creating content for platforms like YouTube. I remember when I launched my first digital product. It was something small, but it had a huge impact. It was an ebook on financial education, and selling it started generating a steady cash flow. The trick is to find something you can sell at scale, meaning it doesn't depend on your time after it's launched. Think about creating an online course or selling products that can be automated. You can start by doing a self-assessment to discover what you enjoy most. For example, if you like staying fit and learning about healthy eating and exercise, know that millions of people are looking for more information and tips on that subject. If you enjoy painting miniatures for a role-playing game, start creating content about it and sell a book teaching your techniques. Believe me, there's an audience for everything. The important thing is to understand that building wealth from scratch requires immediate action. Don't wait for the perfect moment or until you have extra time. That will never happen. If you're watching this video and thinking, "But I don't have any special skills," stop now. Everyone has something to offer. It could be technical knowledge, manual skills, or even the talent to entertain. Find what you're good at and start. Platforms like Upwork and Fiverr can help you find clients for your services. Another interesting idea is to venture into affiliate marketing. I know many people who started with this and built a solid income by promoting other companies' products. The cool part is, you don't need to create anything. You just need to recommend products you already use and believe in. If you have a blog, an Instagram page, or a YouTube channel, you can start promoting these products and earn commissions on sales. The point is, to achieve financial freedom, it's essential to diversify your income streams. Think of it as a way to financially protect yourself. If one source of income dries up, you'll still have others to keep your cash flow going and grow your wealth. And as you master these new income streams, the money starts working for you, not the other way around. That's building wealth intelligently. Now that you understand the importance of starting to generate extra income, the next question is, what will you do with that money? The next step is critical. I'll show you how to invest this new income so that it multiplies without you constantly having to chase after it. And believe me, this is the secret of millionaires. So, let's move on to the next step. Have you ever thought about what it would be like if money worked for you instead of you working for it? This is the secret that millionaires discover early on. Investing is the most effective way to multiply wealth without increasing your physical or mental effort. The big takeaway here is understanding that money, when well directed, can generate more money over time, all without you needing to be constantly involved. I myself took years to realize this. I spent years earning and spending money without really investing. When I finally learned to put my money to work, I saw my wealth creation accelerate. Warren Buffett, one of the greatest investors in history, always recommends index funds like the S&P 500. And why is that? Simple. They provide consistent long-term growth with relatively low risk. If you're just starting out, think of the S&P 500 as a way to invest in 500 of the largest companies in the US all at once. Instead of trying to guess which company will do best, you bet on several and let the market do the work for you. And the best part, you can start small by buying fractional shares. With platforms like Robinhood or E-Trade, you can invest as little as $10, and that's already a first step toward building wealth from scratch. Now, the key point here is the power of compound interest. Imagine you invest $100 a month in an index fund that grows at an average rate of 8% per year. It might not seem like much at first, but over time, the gains start to compound exponentially. This is the magic of compound interest. Your investments grow on themselves, creating a financial snowball. This is how you begin to build true financial freedom. Albert Einstein called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world for a reason, and believe me, he was right. For those wanting to get rich quickly, it might seem like investing small amounts is too slow. But the truth is, time is your greatest ally in the process of building wealth. The earlier you start, the greater the effect of compound interest. It doesn't matter if you're 25, 35, or 45. The important thing is to start now. And if you're already generating extra income, as we discussed earlier, allocating part of that money to investments will accelerate your wealth growth even more. There are various ways to invest. Besides index funds, you can consider individual stocks, bonds, or even real estate. However, if you're just starting out, keeping things simple with index funds is an excellent strategy. You don't need to be an expert to succeed, just be consistent. Invest a little each month and watch your money grow over time. It's like planting a tree. It doesn't grow overnight, but with patience, it becomes a pillar of financial security for the future. Additionally, one important tip: reinvest your dividends. Many companies pay dividends, which are a portion of profits that go to shareholders. If you reinvest those dividends instead of spending them, you'll harness even more of the power of compound interest. It's a simple trick, but one that can make a huge difference in the multiplication of your wealth over time. Now, the big question is, what stops many people from starting to invest? Fear. Fear of losing money, fear of not understanding the market, fear of not knowing where to start. But the truth is, the biggest risk is in not investing. Inflation eats away at the value of your money sitting in the bank, while the stock market offers a way to protect and grow your wealth. Remember, it's not about timing the market, but spending time in the market. Now that you know how to start investing and how this habit can transform your financial life, the question is, how do you ensure you'll have money to invest every month? In the next step, we'll talk about budget control and how a smart budget can ensure you always have a portion to put into the market. Stay tuned, because without this next piece of the puzzle, investing can become much more challenging. It doesn't matter how much more money you make if you don't know how to control your spending. This is one of the hardest lessons I learned in my own financial journey. In the beginning, I was more focused on increasing my income, but I kept spending without a clear plan. The result, the money came in and went out just as quickly. That's when I realized that to truly build wealth, I needed discipline and a system to manage what I earned. True financial freedom starts with how you manage what you already have. The 50-30-20 rule is a good starting point. It suggests that you allocate 50% of your income to essentials, like housing and food, 30% to lifestyle, like entertainment, and the other 20% to investments. When I started applying this rule, everything changed. Suddenly, I had a clear view of where my money was going, and it became easier to prioritize what really mattered. This division helped ensure that I always had money to invest, which, as we've seen, is key to building wealth from scratch. Now, if you feel like you're not saving enough to invest, I suggest taking a good look at your spending habits. In my case, I realized I was spending too much on subscriptions I wasn't even using, along with frequent dinners at expensive restaurants. Once I eliminated these unnecessary expenses, I was able to redirect that money toward my wealth growth. A simple budgeting app, like Mint or YNAB, can help you track these expenses in a practical way. Do this for a month and see how little by little you can free up more resources for your goals to get rich. Another important thing is to use credit wisely. If you're always racking up credit card debt, pay it off as soon as possible. Interest can be a big enemy of wealth building. I made the mistake of letting my credit card balance grow without realizing how much it was costing me. Today, I see credit as a tool that, when used properly, can help build your financial security, but it's crucial to avoid unnecessary debt. Pay off the full balance every month and, if possible, take advantage of rewards programs that many cards offer to accumulate miles or cashback. Another trick I adopted was reviewing my budget every 3 months. This helped me adjust my spending and ensure I was always aligned with my financial freedom goals. For example, I used to spend quite a bit on short weekend trips. When I realized this was stopping me from investing more, I cut back on those trips and started investing that savings. In just a few months, I saw the impact on my wealth. Sometimes, small changes can lead to big results in the long run. It's important to remember that this discipline doesn't mean cutting all the fun out of your life. On the contrary, the goal is to find balance. Set aside part of your budget for entertainment and relaxation. This is also part of the journey to achieving financial freedom. What you want to avoid is spending impulsively without thinking about the long-term consequences. Planning your expenses is like setting a map for your financial future. If you know where you're headed, your chances of getting rich increase exponentially. Now, here's a golden tip. Automate your investments. One of the best decisions I made was setting up an automatic transfer that directs a portion of my salary straight into an investment account. That way, I don't have to think about it every month. The money is already going toward building my financial legacy. This creates a silent discipline and ensures that no matter the circumstances, I'm always investing in my future. With your budget in order, you'll have a solid foundation to keep growing. But how can you ensure you stay on track? The secret lies in patience and long-term commitment. In the next topic, we'll talk about how to stay consistent and build wealth over time, even when results don't show up right away. This is one of the biggest secrets of those who truly achieve financial independence. Stay tuned, because what comes next is key to keeping up the momentum. Building a financial legacy isn't an instant process. One of the biggest traps for those trying to build wealth is impatience. We all want to see quick results, especially when it comes to money. But the truth is, the biggest results come with time, and the secret is to stay focused and disciplined. When I started investing, I remember feeling frustrated by not seeing an immediate return. But over the years, I realized that the magic happens for those who remain consistent, even when progress seems slow. Jim Rohn, one of the greatest masters of financial education, always said, "Have impatience with your actions, but patience with your results." This means you should act with determination now, but understand that the fruits will only be reaped later. It's like planting a tree. You won't see a fully grown tree the next day, but with time and care, it will become a solid source of shade and nourishment. The same goes for your wealth growth. Invest regularly, stay focused, and over time, the results will come. Remember the compound interest we mentioned? It's the best example of how patience is rewarded. At first you might not notice huge gains, but as time goes on, compound interest starts working in your favor. That's when growth accelerates and you begin to see the real difference in your bank account. Warren Buffett, for example, built his fortune over decades with a patient and disciplined approach. He always said that the stock market is a wealth transfer mechanism from impatient people to patient ones. Now, I know it can be hard to stay calm when the world around us is moving so fast. In an era where everything seems to happen quickly, social media, instant information, the idea of waiting can feel old-fashioned. But remember that the greatest fortunes were built over time. Financial independence is a marathon, not a 100-meter sprint. If you understand this from the start, you'll avoid the frustration of those who quit too soon. The biggest mistake I see is people starting to invest, and when they don't see immediate results, they pull out their money and miss the big growth opportunities. A trick I used to stay focused was setting clear monthly goals. They don't need to be grand, but small achievements that keep you on the right path. For example, you can set a goal to save and invest a specific amount each month, or to reduce an unnecessary expense every quarter. These small steps, added up over time, create a big impact on your wealth growth. Don't underestimate the power of cumulative gains. As the saying goes, slow and steady wins the race. Another important thing is to avoid the temptation to compare your journey with others. Everyone has a different pace. What matters is that you're making progress. And remember, the financial market has its ups and downs. One year, your investments may grow significantly, and the next, they may see a slight dip. That's normal. What you can't do is panic and give up. Stay on course because the market tends to reward those who are patient and persistent. Finally, a mindset that helped me a lot was seeing every dollar I invested as a worker that was working for me. Every invested dollar was generating more dollars, even if I didn't see it immediately. When you adopt this view, it becomes much easier to have patience because you know the work is being done, even if the results aren't showing up right away. Now that you understand the importance of staying calm and focused over time, it's time to take an even more important step. How can we keep evolving and ensure we're always on the right track? The next step involves something that can speed up your journey to building wealth from scratch: continuous learning. Let's discover how the right knowledge can be the biggest driver of your financial freedom. If there's one secret shared by all the people who've managed to build wealth from scratch, it's that they never stop learning. The financial market, business, and the world of investments are constantly evolving, and anyone who wants to achieve financial freedom must always stay up to date. Since I started my journey toward financial independence, one thing has become clear: continuous learning is one of the most powerful tools we have. The more you know, the more prepared you are to make smart decisions that multiply your wealth. A classic example of this is reading books. At first, I thought reading about finance would be boring or complicated, but as soon as I picked up my first book on the subject, Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, my perspective changed completely. The book made me understand the difference between assets and liabilities and how I needed to focus on acquiring assets that generated income. From there, I started consuming all kinds of material on wealth building. Today, I can say with certainty that the best investors and entrepreneurs are those who never stop learning. If you're committed to your financial freedom, set aside at least 30 minutes a day to read or listen to something new about finance. Of course, learning isn't limited to books. Podcasts, YouTube videos, and even online courses can be incredible sources of knowledge. I remember during one of my worst financial moments, listening to an episode of the podcast The Dave Ramsey Show that completely changed the way I viewed debt and spending control. Sometimes a single insight from an expert can be what you need to make big changes in your financial life. Invest time in listening to people who've already walked the path you want to follow. Another important lesson I've learned over the years is the importance of having mentors. A mentor can be a book, a podcast, or even a real person willing to share their knowledge. When I started following in the footsteps of great financial names like Warren Buffett and Ray Dalio, I saw how their simple and consistent strategies were fundamental in building great fortunes. And what did I learn from them? That learning is an asset that never loses value. The more you learn, the more your wealth building becomes solid and effective. And don't think learning should only be about finance. Financial education is essential, but success in wealth building also involves developing skills in leadership, communication, and even mental health. After all, your journey to getting rich depends on how you manage your life as a whole. Michael Gerber, in the book The E-Myth Revisited, highlights that many businesses fail because their founders don't understand the value of continuously learning about management and operations. The same applies to those who want to build a financial legacy. Without learning how to manage all aspects of life, growth becomes limited. Now, a practical tip I still apply today is to create a reading or content consumption list. For example, if you're starting to invest, look for books like The Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham or A Random Walk Down Wall Street by Burton Malkiel. These books will give you a solid foundation for making better investment decisions. Combine that with following podcasts like Bigger Pockets Money or Millennial Investing, and you'll have a broad and practical view of how to build wealth and make your money grow strategically. The point is, never underestimate the power of knowledge. The more you learn, the more prepared you are to spot opportunities that can multiply your wealth. As I've heard before, ignorance is expensive. So invest in your learning as much as you invest in your money. And the good news is, with internet access, this knowledge is more accessible than ever. Now that you know continuous learning is the key to speeding up your journey, there's one question left. Are you ready to put all this into practice? To make a difference, it's not just about learning, it's about applying it. And believe me, this will make all the difference in your journey to getting rich. So, let's recap and understand how to integrate all these lessons to ensure your financial journey is a success. Now that you know the path to transforming your financial life, what are you going to do next? It's not enough just to learn. The real secret is in applying what you've learned. Every action you take, no matter how small it seems, will bring you closer to the dream of being financially free. Imagine how different your life will be in a few months when you look back and realize you made the right decision. Building wealth starts with small but powerful choices, like eliminating distractions, investing wisely, and maintaining financial discipline. So, what are you waiting for? If you truly want to get rich, multiply your wealth, and secure a future free of worries, now is the time. Ask yourself, how much is this transformation worth to you? The step-by-step is in your hands, and the next action depends only on you. Don't let inertia take over. Take the first step right now. Want to know more about how to improve your finances and build wealth? We can bring a part 2 with even more powerful and practical tips. Let me know in the comments if you want me to dive even deeper into this topic. Oh, and before you go, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on